In this edition of MTHFR FAQ, I go into how heavy metals affect those with MTHFR. I share the 3 most dangerous heavy metals, as well as what you can do to reduce your toxic load. Let's get to it. Hey, if you're new to my channel, I'm David, and I help people reclaim their lives from brain fog, chronic fatigue, and low self-esteem. Today's video is particularly near and dear because the way that I found out that I had MTHFR was through having elevated mercury and cadmium. So this one hits particularly hard for me. All right. I have a bunch of other videos on my recovery story, exactly how I found out, my supplement routine. So definitely do check all of those out. The importance of monitoring your heavy metals if you have MTHFR simply cannot be overstated. So we're going to go into how this affects you, so understanding why those of us with MTHFR are more susceptible to heavy metal toxicity, the 3 most dangerous heavy metals, and then just a couple tips on how you can lower your toxic load. So toxins and heavy metals especially are a stressor to our bodies, even though we don't typically think of heavy metals and toxins as stressors. There's about 77,000 man-made chemicals in our environment that we interact with or have to deal with on a regular basis. They can be found anywhere from our personal care products, our household products, in buildings and electronics, furniture, and so many other places. All right, so when you have MTHFR, you have a compromised ability to create SAMe and glutathione. And glutathione is your body's master antioxidant, is what is really doing a lot of the heavy lifting to move out those heavy metals, toxins, a lot of the things that are processed in our food. And so when your MTHFR gene is compromised, you're having low levels of glutathione. And so the result is that you're going to have a buildup of these toxins. It means that your liver cannot get rid of these things at a fast enough rate. So you're introducing them quicker than they can be processed. And what happens as a result of that? So your liver is going to kind of make a decision. It's going to say, okay, well, I can't process this. So where does it go? It might stay in the body. So typically it's going to be stored in your adipose fat tissue because these toxins are fat soluble, so they're going to be there, and also in fatty organs. And so what is one of our biggest fatty organs? Our brain. And then the results. So once you have been exposed to heavy metals, they've been stored in your body, what happens is that these metals like cadmium, mercury, aluminum, etc., are going to bog down the methylation process even more. They're going to lower the enzyme activity. So you not only are going to have a toxic load that's weighing you down, but then on top of that, the already compromised enzymes or MTHFR genes are going to compromise methylation even further. And while this isn't a video on epigenetics per se, I will do some in the future. What you need to know is that toxins and heavy metals influence your genes beyond your inherent genetic predispositions. All right, so the 3 most damaging heavy metals for those with MTHFR. The first one is going to be lead. And so where is it found? Lead is found in some paints, hopefully not in your home. It's also found in glaze and ceramics. And unfortunately, it's also found in our soil due to industrial processes that are releasing lead into the soil. And so the next one is, you guessed it, mercury. And so mercury can be found in a host of places, but the most common one is going to be in seafood. And there's just so many reasons to be really careful with seafood. You can check out my video on Seaspiracy and algae omega-3s. But tuna and swordfish and a lot of these deep sea predator fish are going to be the biggest sources or the highest concentrations of mercury, as well as you're going to have dental amalgams, vaccines, flu shots, all that kind of stuff. It's been largely removed from vaccines, and in particular, the COVID-19 vaccine does not have mercury in it. And so the symptoms of mercury toxicity are going to be noticed and quite horrendous. They're going to include irritability, fatigue, memory loss, brain fog, tremors, and sleep disturbances, and of course, compromised methylation. And then the last one is going to be cadmium. So where is it found? It's often found in cigarette smoke or just any combustion. If you're smoking marijuana, that might also be the case, as well as industrial fumes. And the symptoms are going to be pretty similar to a lot of other things that affect your lungs. So shortness of breath, chest pains, inflammation in the lungs, coughing, and anything else that is generally kind of associated with compromised lung function. All right, so some tips and recommendations if you have heavy metal toxicity. So the first one is to get to know your MTHFR status. So there's a number of ways you can test it. I have a video showing you how you can do that. And additionally, you might want to get something called a hair tissue mineral analysis test. This is one of my top 4 labs for brain fog. There's also dedicated heavy metal tests that are from Everlywell and some other companies, so you can definitely do those as well. I would recommend working one-on-one with a coach if you find out from one of these at-home lab tests that you do in fact have elevated heavy metals. And what this is going to mean is that you have to do a chelation diet or just a heavy metal detox. And this is often going to take anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks, depending on the severity of it. And I do have my protocol in the description below, but you're going to have to take some binders and there may be some symptoms that arise. So it's really best to have a partner with you on this journey. I'm happy to help you along, so you can go ahead and book a 15-minute call with me if you want to discuss that. And next up is going to be to lower your toxic load. So I recommend using the EWG Skin Deep website. And so what I recommend specifically is going through all of your personal care products, things like your shampoos, your skincare products, laundry detergent, dishwasher, anything that's in your home and in your environment on a regular basis, and just making sure that they are either ideally EWG verified or that they have a low rating, so something like a 1 to a 3 max. And so also just removing fragrances from a lot of your products alone is a pretty good hack too. And then the next one is just as a general rule of thumb, as someone who is MTHFR, let's say has MTHFR mutation, especially the homozygous variant, so you want to be kind of heavy metal or toxin conscious, right? And so what you can do is to have regular chelators in your diet. So you could have cracked cell chlorella wall. So that's something that's been really helpful for me. Having a greens powder in your smoothie, so having spirulina as well as the cracked cell chlorella wall is going to be really helpful. Having cilantro on a regular basis is also going to be pretty helpful. And yeah, and there's a couple others, but those are, I would say, the main ones. And so that's going to help you lower your toxin load, and then just make sure that you're supporting your liver detoxify on a regular basis. I also recommend doing a seasonal liver detox. And so this is going to be really helpful once you've done, set up your baseline. You may do a longer detox in the beginning, depending on your labs or whatever, but doing a seasonal detox is hands down just one of the best practices you can do. Just a 7-day detox to reset, lower inflammation. You might lose a little bit of excess water weight. There's a couple ways to do it. I personally do it in a way where I don't lose weight, but you can do it in a way that you'll probably lose, anywhere from like 3 to 10 pounds in a week. And so this is going to really help you flush out the liver, make sure that it's supported with a lot of phase 1 and phase 2, phase 1 and phase 2 liver detoxification, pathway herbs and whatnot. And then the last one is going to be around infrared saunas. So I use the infrared sauna because I live in an urban apartment. So I use higher dose, which is a sauna blanket. It's low EMF. It's very effective. I put it inside my couch when I'm not using it, and using that a couple times a week. That's going to depend on a couple factors, but if you use that anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week or something, that's going to be extremely helpful too, because you're going to be really sweating those out, and the spectrum of the infrared is really helping to cleanse your organs. All right, well, that's it for this episode of MTHFR FAQ. Heavy metals is a topic that's near and dear to me and was such a critical part of my healing journey. I'm going to do a lot more videos on heavy metal toxicity, helping you understand the dangers of heavy metals, how to remove them, and step-by-step on how to live a low toxin lifestyle. If you have any questions or anything I wasn't able to answer, please leave it in the comments below. Check out my other MTHFR FAQ videos for more information on understanding and navigating this life with MTHFR, something that not enough people are talking about and not enough people are really living. And so as a result, they have all these low-level, suboptimal, subclinical conditions, and it's really awful. It doesn't have to be that way. And lastly, if you got value from this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more updates on how to optimize your mind, body, and emotions. And lastly, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you move through this world with ease. I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.